Sheila, you've been to a lot of RAAMs. How many RAAMs have you officiated?
This is my fourth time to officiate as in RAAM.
Tell me about what you do as an official in RAAM.
Well, the primary function of officials is to keep an eye on the course. We make sure that the rules are enforced, the riders are following the rules, that they aren't getting sloppy. A lot of the stuff that people do isn't really belligerent, it's not willful, it's just tired or stupid or something, you know. It's just, as they, first off, when they first take off from Oceanside, the excitement causes them to make mistakes. They do bonehead stuff, like they don't get their vehicle all the way off the road, or the teams are sloppy with their exchanges, things like that. Those are usually just excitement. Some of them are rookie mistakes, new crew members that haven't done this before. It's a lot of little things that can come into play. And then later, about the middle of the event, where they start to kind of get things together, maybe by Kansas, they're starting to get their ducks in a row, and everything should be pretty square by then. And then when you get into this end of the race now, people are starting to make mistakes because they're tired. I'm out there also to make sure that the riders, if I see them, a crew, or I see a rider who's looks like don't have it together, like they're weaving all over the place. I remember a couple of years ago, I was coming up on, we just come through Rouserville, and the rider was coming down the street there in front of the time station, and his crew was hollering at him over the PA system to the left into the time station, and so he takes a left right in front of an oncoming car. Oh. I mean, I about croaked, and the follow car followed him right in front of it too. They didn't even see it. Like, what follow? They didn't even see the oncoming car, headlights and everything. This was an evening, you know, it was night. And I got a hold of them and I was like, what are you guys doing? Are you all right? I mean, do you see the car? They go, what car? I'm like, that's what I thought. So I said, okay, you got your choice. You can either voluntarily go down for some sleep right now, or I'm going to make you go down for some sleep. Your choice. But I want you off the road. So they took some time off. But you know, that's the sort of stuff that we do. We make sure everything's safe. We try to make sure everything's fair as well.
Well, you know, speaking of that, some of those decisions sound really black and white. Sounds really black and white when riders are swerving and there's oncoming traffic, and that seems like a really easy decision to make. But are they always that easy?
No, a lot of them aren't. You have to make a judgment call. Like if you're sitting at a stop sign and someone comes through, and you have to decide if it really was a complete stop or if it's just if it's close enough. Those are kind of judgment calls you have to make. And also, if someone shows you a video of something, like they've taken a video on a little handheld camera or something, and
does that happen often?
I've only seen it a couple of times, but they'll show you this video and it's jumping around, there's stuff in the way, maybe cars are passing in front of your line of sight. And you can't always tell because it's very, very flat on a small screen. Sometimes you have to look at it 3 or 4 times or get another official's opinion. Fortunately, that doesn't happen too often.
You haven't officiated on a race this tight before, correct?
That's right, I haven't. This is my first time to be up in the front. So I've usually been towards the middle or the back and just kind of, you know, easing along with the rest of the group that's just wanting to finish, you know, and enjoying a whole different perspective on the race at that point. This is amazing. I mean, these guys are separated by, earlier today they were separated by 7 minutes on the road. And as I've passed them today and they've passed me, they're 100 yards apart out on the road, just traveling, you know, to prevent accusations of drafting. And it's amazing to see everything this tight. I don't think RAAM has had this tight of a race in, well, I know they haven't had it in 4 years. Yuri usually has a 20 to 24 hour or more lead on his closest competitor, and this time it's a little bit interesting. We've got us a race on our hands. This is great. It's exciting.
So you've seen Yuri Robic race, and you've seen Danny Weiss in the past year's race. What is different this year? How come the gap is so small?
I don't know. For one thing, we've had exceptionally good weather. We've had a tailwind. It blew us out of California, and it hasn't really stopped blowing. We've had good weather. I don't know what people behind us are getting, but we've had really good weather, except for the humidity and the heat in the heat index in the Midwest through Indiana and Illinois. It's really been decent weather. I think that's contributed to it because we haven't had bad storms or anything. But I think both riders are more prepared. I think they've come in with a perspective on what they have in mind. They've got some really clearly defined goals, and I think with that in mind, the preparation and just the hunger, they're out, and I think that's made it very close.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.